We forgot reporting for the member service log, one of the most important portions.
This document is going to be your best friend. It is an Excel document with various sheets, and it's a fabulous little workbook.
Reworked just for your pleasure.
Yes, and simplicity's sake, hopefully. Yeah. When you begin your service, you'll receive this document. You must save it to your Google Drive associated with your NGHP email. Even if you're at another site, you will receive an NGHP email.
There's also a caveat to this. In your NGHP Google Drive, under the folder that has your first initial last name, everything must be saved into that specific folder. That is the folder that gives us the ability to, in case something happens to you, we can get into that folder and look into there.
Yes. And yeah, basically everything for your project is in there.
Exactly.
Yeah. So when I send this document to you, it will say MSL and then the year of your service, which this year is 19 and 20, and then it will have your last name and first name. This document you will save, and you will just change as you go, as we go through the months. You will see different tabs. It'll say, depending on when you start your service, it'll have all those months specifically set out for you and available for you. It will have a tab for your attendance controller. It will also have a tab that says extra volunteers. This tab is just in case on a monthly basis you go over the amount of volunteer space available, and if you need this, you can use that. We can talk more about that later. There's also a tab that is called Master Reporting. You can look at this. You will not be able to edit this at all. This just keeps track of numbers that Alex, as the program director, will need for your service to report on how well you're doing and things that you have accomplished. So you'll be able to see this. It's connected to all of the months, but you will not be able to edit it. And really, it's there just for us. You don't necessarily need to look at it if you want.
It's there for reference, and I mean, sometimes you may want to see throughout a year how much you've actually done.
Yeah.
This is a really good way to do that. So that's why I let you guys be able to see it instead of hiding it, and I thought it might be useful to you, but definitely cannot edit it. Definitely cannot touch it.
Yeah. And then some of you guys might get different things. Some of you will get a whole entire November to November, which is the AmeriCorps Vista year of service. It is the official.
It's the grant year.
The grant year. So some of you will actually receive 2 of these during your year of service because it will be edited specifically for your year of service. So it might look slightly different, but overall it is all the same thing, same information. It is just simplified for you. Also, this document is to keep track of your monthly activities. At the top, it'll have your name, the agency. You will see that it says pay period beginning and pay period ending. Literally, it is a whole entire month's worth of service. So these dates will coincide with the dates on your timesheet. Now here, you will have access to the days, and basically what it is you do is you go under Monday, you basically give us bullet points of what you worked on. It doesn't have to be a book. It just needs to be a sentence.
It could even just be like a couple phrases.
Exactly.
Just remember that someone else is reading this and will not be you reading it. So make it self-explanatory enough, make it detailed enough to be read by a different person.
Yes. You will have access to all of the places that you'll have access to. There are some things that you will not be able to edit in this document, but they need to be filled in. If you have a day where, let's say you had a sick day, all you write is sick day. And then make sure those dates coincide on your attendance controller. And then we're good to go. At the bottom of that sheet, there again, you'll see it says Vista member signature and site supervisor signature. At the end of the month, you will print this off You will sign it, your site supervisor will sign it, and then you'll either hand it in to Alex or I, or you will email it to us. At the bottom, as you continue scrolling, there's a section that will tell you the month, and it will say donations. This is a list of all the donations requested by you as an AmeriCorps member. Some months you might not request anything, and that's fine. Every single project is different, but if you do request any donations or in-kind donations, we need to know those contact informations and those numbers.
So I'm going to insert myself here. Just in case you do not know what an in-kind donation is.
Yes.
We can obviously understand like a cash value donation. So for instance, if someone straight up hands you cash, that's what that is. But in-kind is when someone, say, gives you materials. For instance, we have an NCCC team coming soon. We had a community person in business donate materials for some of their projects while they were here. So we got things like paint rollers, paint brushes, rakes, gloves, things like that. Those are in-kind donations. And what you would want to do is when you pick up a donation like that, maybe if they could estimate the value for you, say ask them how much this is worth, get something that's written, or you can estimate it yourself by, of course, price comparing. So I know that a box of gloves costs X. I know that a box of brushes costs Y. And adding that all up and putting that into the in-kind value. I do not expect you, if you get an in-kind donation of multiple materials, to list out each individual thing that you got. What I'm expecting you to do is to combine it and put it all under the same company. So if you got one big donation from Walmart of like books, please do not list out every single book that you got.
No.
I want to know you got books, and I want to know that this is how much it was. So for instance, under the items donated, you're going to say books, you're going to say you got 312 books, and you're going to tell me how much roughly that those books cost.
That's basically just an estimate. It doesn't have to be
it's
an
not
exact number unless they give it to you.
Yeah, if they give you the exact number, great. That makes your life way easier.
If you remember to. I've had to call people back and actually ask how much,
estimate what?
estimate how much this is for me. But yeah, knowing on the front side is nice.
It's easier with items like books, but then you get into items like landscaping. And they donated
And
that in
materials.
kind. That you would probably have to call and ask about that.
And just and it doesn't have to be complicated. Just say I need it for my reporting.
Most likely they'll be kind enough to give it to you.
This other section is about volunteers recruited. It's basically just a list, writing down the activity or event they volunteered for, their name, phone number, email, the amount of hours they volunteered for you. And there's a section here for those of you recruited. There's also a section that is a little different. It's for volunteers you managed. So sometimes that might be the same amount of people, sometimes it won't be. There might be volunteers that you managed that you did not necessarily recruit.
Exactly.
And this is on a monthly basis. So if you did not recruit any volunteers in the month of August, then you do not have to put anyone down. An example of this, for the last, 2 years, I don't think I have had anything listed on mine because I have supervised other Vistas, and they're the ones who have been doing the recruiting, if that makes sense. Also, there's other things here that need to be filled in if it applies to you, like the number of free books given to children, organizations worked with. There's also drop-down boxes for other things if needed. There's also a section called Success Stories and Challenges. This needs to be filled out monthly as well. It doesn't have to be very long, but it needs to detail any successes or challenges that you have faced during that month at your service site. So I know it can be a little bit confusing once you see it, just because sometimes on your member achievement log, the dates might not just, it might be in August and September, not just August.
And that's why it's separate.
And that's why it's separate. So when you report on these other things, the donations, the volunteers, And the success stories and challenges, that's literally for the specific month.
Monthly, yes.
Yes. Okay.
I'm keeping in mind that filling in these documents, all of it is mandatory to fill out the document completely. Please do not skip a section. Please do not fill it in haphazardly. This is very important to sustaining the program and keeping it going and making sure that you guys are taken care of in the future, because we want to ensure that this AmeriCorps program continues to grow and continues to remain a healthy, viable option for members like you.
And it also shows, well, AmeriCorps, that we're actually doing what we say that we're doing.
Exactly. And again, that goes back to the use of taxpayers' funds correctly. We do not want to be using other people's money incorrectly. We want to cherish what we have and give back at the same time. People gave us this money to help communities, and we want to prove that we're doing that with them.
Yep. And we will be sitting down with you with this document and showing you how it works. And then if you have any questions, we will speak with you about that then.